In the living room, the woman is kissing her fiancé's best friend, who realizing that the boy was already returning from the asked to leave. Meanwhile, the husband who is in the kitchen preparing a snack for his friend, returns to the living room and finds only him playing with the cat, asks if he is hungry, and delivers the plate. They caress the cat and then the friend asks, "Sure you didn't call me here just to eat and see the cat?" And the boy answers, "So I called you to make you a very special invitation." Playing, the friend asks if it will be needed spending money and the boy says, "It depends, I would very much like you to be our godfather, Maya and Tamara." Demonstrating a lot of happiness for the wedding that is coming, he gives him a hug saying, "My congratulations, it is logical that I accept Will. We have known each other since I was a child and it was thanks to you that we found our company. We are partners. You think I would not go to accept? It will be a great pleasure." Will thanks and says he is very happy that he has accepted the invitation. The friend, pretending not to know, asks if Tamara is at home and Will calls her to say that Paul agreed to be their godfather. Right in front of Will, Paulo gives a hug and Tamara, taking his but without his friend seeing. And as soon as he hugged her, he wishes the couple again and praising his friend, "He is a brother for me, takes good care of this boy." She replies that they love each other and will take good care of him. Shortly thereafter, Will asks her to leave for a while so they can talk a serious matter. She tells them to feel comfortable and leave. They go back to the couch and Will says, "Besides the request to be godfather, I also called you here to say something else much more serious." Paul asks what would be more serious than getting married and he answers, "So I am spending a very difficult time there in the company. Things complicated and debts have increased. I need a financial help from you." Paul, without understanding, he says they are partners and earn the same percentage of profits, so he knows that the company is doing very well and asks if his problem is at home. Will replies that he is having a lot of spending on the house and Tamara, who spends a lot there, ended up wrapping himself in his own debt. Paul says he noticed the way he has been spending on expensive things in recent times, and Will replies that he can't say no to the bride. Seeing the situation that the friend is passing, Paul asks how much he is in, when Will replies that about 30,000 reis. He is scared of the high value and invents a story saying that then they talk, because there is a very subject important to solve and need to go to Bora. The next day comes a card bill and when Paul opens it gets even more discouraged by the unnecessary expenses that Tamara has been having. She is going through the limit. "Look at these values, a bag costs 5,000 reis." At that moment she arrives at him and asks if he is okay. Will replies that he is fine and comments and was looking at his math. But Tamara doesn't care much about the subject and asks, showing the picture of a dress that found it very beautiful, "Love, is he very beautiful? Buy for me, please?" He replies that he was just looking at the math and that there will be no way to buy that dress this month, but she doesn't like him to have said that. When Will show the invoice, she says she can do nothing and still chose the cheapest dress of only 300 reis. Paul says they are at the limit and Tamara starts saying, "I always told you that I'm a man expensive and I want good gifts." He tries to argue that he can buy the dress next month, but she debate annoyed, "You have said next month let's travel, that I will win a pair of diamonds and this month never comes." Paul speaks how she has spent unnecessarily buying entire collections of expensive shoes and accessories, and again, he reminds him that she is an expensive woman and wants the new dress at that very moment. He says he can't do it now, but she insists and tells him to turn around and if she needs to make a loan. After that, Tamara leaves Brave and leaves him alone with the ticket speaking, "Look this here," and still wants to buy a 300 reis dress. Later, Tamara returns home full of bags in her hand saying, "Wow, how good it is to make purchases to distress. There is no better antidepressant than this to solve my problems. To improve even more, I know what I'm going to do." She takes her cell phone and send an audio, "Love can come here, I just made several shopping and I'm super relaxed. Come here for us to enjoy. My fiancé is not here. Kisses." Outside the house, when the friends are talking, Paolo apologizes to Will for having left in a hurry the other day because of the meeting and asks him to explain better what's going on because he's so lost. You've always been such a person organized, you are the one who organizes the company's finances. Will responds that he knows how to be organized, but Tamara is a big spender and keeps asking for things, and he can't say no. As a friend, Paolo replies, "You spent a fortune on that cat, she is always changing clothes, shopping at the mall, you need to control this woman's credit card." He replies that he knows that, but it's no use, because she always wants more. I bought the cat and it didn't help, because later she already came up with the story of the 300 Brazilian reals dress that I need to buy. Paolo decides to ask if it's really worth all that he's going through with her, but Will says he loves the bride and wants to please her. Seeing how the friend loves the woman even with all these difficulties, Paolo looks and says, "You're like a brother, so I'm going to say everything, this woman is a bitch." At that moment, Tamara arrives shouting, "How is it? Are you saying that I'm naughty, Paolo? Come inside my house to say that about me?" Paolo, taking himself, answers, "That's exactly what I wanted to say, and Will, you need to pay attention to the type of woman you're living with." Paula, crying, goes to her fiancé and asks, "Baby, are you going to let him talk to me like that inside our house?" Will looks angrily at Paolo and asks, "How did you have the courage after I asked you to be our best man at our wedding? You come to my house to treat my wife like that?" Paolo again replies that this is exactly it, "I'm your partner for life, I can prove it to you, this woman keeps hitting on me." Will looks at his fiancée and she starts to explain, "Love was the one who kept hitting on me. That bastard." Will tells him to stop talking about Tamara like that, but Will takes his cell phone, shows the audio he received from Tamara and asks who he believes now. Will, not believing what is happening, looks at Tamara and very nervously says, "How could you do something like that to me?" He looks at the audio he's showing me. She begs him to calm down and tries to explain himself by saying that Paolo must have set all that up and sent another woman to imitate his voice, but Will doesn't believe it and asks, "Do you think I'm stupid for not knowing your voice?" Tamara, turning to Paolo, asks if he's trying to break up her marriage, but Will says there's no point in blaming Paolo because she's the one making an idiot of him. The woman tries to contradict, saying it's all a lie, but it's no use. Will starts talking about everything he's done for her. "I'm worried about spending money on you, buying a dress, supporting you, making you a queen, and you're treating me like a trash. You don't deserve to stay in this house, get out of here." She says she loves him and doesn't want to end the marriage because of Paolo, and Will replies that the marriage is over. Paolo says that this marriage didn't even exist, that she's shameless, and continues, "That's right, brother, get that little woman out of your house, get rid of her." She begs for forgiveness, but Will tells her to take her outside. Returning, he tells his friend that he doesn't believe that, and Paolo says, "I'm very sorry. I also want to ask you for forgiveness. That woman doesn't deserve you. I've known you since I was little, and you're a very nice guy." Will replies that he doesn't need to apologize, because he's always been his friend and wouldn't suspect him. Besides, he can't believe how Tamara had the courage to do that, even more with such a special person, and Paolo completes, "You know Jose, who works there at company? I found out that Tamara was with him these days. I know you can and will get someone who's worth a lot more, and I'm going to make a point of being your best man." Will says he will never let someone do that to him again, and Paolo remembers, "You know that money you asked me for? So I know that woman let you down, so I'll get you 50 grand to help you straighten things out." They arrange to go out to meet other women who are Paolo's friends and give each other a hug.